Hi guys, it's Aoife from Words of Clover and I'm here to show you guys my September TBR. So you guys know I don't normally do a September TBR, but I wanted to have a little bit of fun picking what books I wanted to read for the next month or so, and I really need to start reading books like on my physical shelves because I've definitely been ignoring my physical TBR for a while. So I wanted to try and come up with a way that I would be able to read the books on my shelves, but also in a way maybe include some of my social media followers in that as well. So what I did this week on Instagram, I'm not sure if anyone follows me, you might recall this. I basically put up a series of kind of polls slash kind of quizzy questions and asked people basically to choose an answer. I had no idea what they were actually choosing, so I basically said pick a blue, pick either blue 1, blue 2, blue 3 or blue 4, and whichever one had the most picks, that's the one I chose. And what I'd actually done was I put a bunch of blue kind of post-it notes or tabs on different books, so 4 blues, 4 yellows, 4 greens, 4 oranges and 4 pinks, and I put them on different books on my shelves that I hadn't read, and whichever one got the most votes was the book that I was going to read. So basically Instagram chose my September TBR, but they had actually no idea that's what they were doing. And I am going to show you guys now the books that ended up having the most votes and what I'll be reading for the next month. So the first book that was chosen is actually a Regency romance, and it's one I'm very excited to read, and it is When Beauty Tamed the Beast by Eloisa James. This is the second book in her fairy tales series. The first book is A Kiss at Midnight and it's kind of a Cinderella retelling, and this is obviously a Beauty and the Beast retelling. So this is basically about an earl who is trapped away in his castle, and he apparently has a really bad temper, chases away anyone who comes close to him, and we are following a girl called Lynette who is determined that she's going to be able to make this guy fall in love with her within 2 weeks. And this one has really great Goodreads ratings, and it definitely sounds like it'll just be a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed A Kiss at Midnight, so I think I'll really like this one. I think this is going to be a lot of fun, quite saucy, and will be really interesting to read, so I'm really looking forward to this one. The next book I have is a historical fiction book, and this is one that I was gifted by a friend of mine, and she has been absolutely raving about this book for years, and I'm so excited to be finally reading this. So this book is called Twice Born by Margaret Mansantini, and this is a book that is about a woman who fled from Bosnia, and she, after 16 years away from her native country, I think she has returned and has been confronted by a lot of memories, both from the war and also from a passionate love affair that she had at the time. It says here at the back, it's haunting international bestseller Twice Born is a sweeping portrait of love, loss and redemption in war-torn Sarajevo. I definitely cannot wait to get to this one, and it's one that I don't think I've ever seen anyone really talk about on BookTube as well, so if it's good I'd be love to be able to recommend it to a lot of other people and get more people talking about it. And I also love reading books that are set in countries that I don't generally read anything from or have never read before. I don't think I've ever read a book set in Bosnia, so it'll be really interesting to read this and learn more about the country. The next book I'm going to read is The Last Namsara by Kirsten Cicerelli. And this is one that I've heard a good bit about, and it's one, to be honest, I definitely kind of have on my bookshelf because I think the covers of this series are so gorgeous. I just love this cover so much. This is a fantasy book about a girl who is a dragon slayer, and I think she is in this engagement that she doesn't really want to be in, and the person that she is going to get married to isn't really a nice person, and then she ends up getting a way out of this impending marriage if she kills this particular dragon. So I think this is about her quest to go to try and kill this dragon. I really know about it and I think it's gonna be good, and again, I mean, this cover is just so gorgeous. I love it so much. Next book I want to read is this kind of science fiction fantasy book, I think, that I've heard a little bit about but not for a while, and that is Downstation by Simon Morden. And this is basically about this group of people who escape this apocalyptic London. They end up going into a service tunnel and they end up going through almost like a portal into this new world that they've never heard of before. They end up in this kind of fantasy-esque type of world, and as they explore this world further, they find out that this world is shaped by all the different types of London that there have been throughout history, I think, and that there are a lot of other people in this world that have escaped into this world from London over years and years and years. And that is all, to be honest, I really know about this book. It's all I want to know about it, but it's definitely something that sounds really interesting. I have the sequel on my shelves as well, and I think it could be one that could end up being really good. And the last 2 books I have actually tied in my little Instagram experiment thing, so I've decided to just put both of them on my TBR. One of them is a fantasy book, and that is The Priestess of the White by Trudy Canavan. Trudy Canavan wrote one of my favourite ever series, which is the Black Magician trilogy, and that was one of my first proper forays into like proper high fantasy, and I absolutely love her writing, but I've never actually read this series, this trilogy, though I have all 3 of them on my shelves. So this is about a girl called Horea, who is this kind of priestess, and she has these kind of powers, I think, kind of gifted to her by the gods, but there is a war coming and she has to figure out how to use her gifts pretty quickly, I think, to basically save herself and save the people that she loves. Really enjoyed Trudy Canavan's writing in the past. I love how she writes magic, and I'm hoping this one will be just the same for me and that I will end up absolutely loving it. And the next book is a book I got recently enough. Well, when did I get it? I think I got it in November, which feels recently enough, but it's actually almost a year ago now. And that is Blackberry and Wild Rose by Sonia Welton. Got this book in the Brick Lane bookshop in London, which is just absolutely gorgeous little bookshop. I love it so much. I don't know if anyone has been there, please comment if you have. And yeah, this is one that I'd never heard of before, but I was just drawn to it by the cover, and I decided to treat myself when I was there and decided to pick up this book that I'd never heard of before and see if it would surprise me, which I love doing now and again in bookshops. I love picking up books that I have no idea what they're actually about and I've never heard of before. This cover is amazing. I love it. So this follows a woman who is the wife of a silk weaver, and she basically hires this woman from a brothel to be her new lady's maid. And it says here that inside the Torrells' home, the two women forge an uneasy relationship. Sarah despises her mistress's blindness to the hypocrisy of her household, while Esther is too wrapped up in her own secrets to notice. It is silk that has Esther so distracted. She longs to be a silk designer. When her husband laughs at her ambition, she unwillingly sets in motion events that will change the fate of them all and set scene for a devastating day of reckoning between her and Sarah. So it sounds kind of interesting. It gives me kind of the miniaturist vibe. I think maybe it's because it has like, it might be a microscopic view on this house, this one house and this family, and like the goings on in this house. It's maybe like a mix between the miniaturist and like the girl with a pearl earring or something like that. We'll see. And I can't wait to read it because it's so nice and it's so pretty. So those are all the books I'm planning to read in September. Hopefully I will get through them all. Maybe there will be more on that list as well, who knows. Let me know down below if you like this kind of experiment that I tried to do. It was a bit of fun, but it also really helped kind of lift books off my physical TBR, so it's definitely something that if people like, I will be doing again, and it's actually just really interesting for me and fun for me too. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please leave a comment down below and I'll see you guys again next time. Bye.